Here's the top 10 tames for defense in Ark Survival Ascended. Okay, at number 1 we have the Utyrannus, the UT for short. Now the reason these things are so good is because they have this fear ability and they can also be put onto turret mode. Okay, so let me show you the fear ability. You run up to a dino and you fear him. Okay, there we go, still coming to attack, one more. Boom, it's now feared. It's going to run off, it's going to run away, it's going to try and run for its life. Look at it. Can't attack me, it's scared. And basically, you can do this to enemy dinos. So anyone attacking your wall, you can constantly have this on turret mode and fearing the enemy, and they'll run into your turrets. So this dire bear is obviously very frightened. He's run straight into my base. Okay, you can also put this onto turret mode. Behavior, enable turret mode, put this on aggressive, and enable auto courage mode. You can also courage your dinos as well, but I keep it on fear. There we go. It's auto fearing. Okay, let's bring him forward. There we go. Starting the fear process. Are you ready? 2 fears, and now he's frightened, he's running away. And the third thing to think about this dino is you want to put it in a defensive position. So for example, if you have turrets aiming straight forward like this and they can easily snipe your UT, you want to put them slightly to the side here, out of the sniping range. So you can put it here on turret mode, and whenever they come forward it will fear the dino and make him scat and run away or run straight into your death wall, and the player will lose control and they'll lose. It makes them want to quit and to stop fighting, and it's very, very annoying. And for number 2, I've categorized these as bleeders. So you're going to want a bleeder which will be either a Thylo, a Carno, or a load of Aloes. Now I would recommend a Carno or a Thylo because they do 5% bleed every attack. So for example, if their health is 50 million, it'll take them 20 hits of this Thylo to bleed them to death and kill them. Okay, that's what makes them so OP. It does 5% of their health damage to the enemy dino, you know. So what you want to do is you want to level up these things only in health, because the bleed is percentage based. So let's see, for example, okay, so this is a level 97 Stego with 2700 HP. We're going to hit it once, and the bleed is doing about 5%. Perfect. This works on Titans and everything, Forest Titans, all sorts. So when Extinction comes out, these are going to be the beauties. If you're on Aberration, there won't be any Thylos allowed on there or any of these Aloes. What you have to do is you're going to have to use a Carno. There are Carnos there. If you have an underwater base, you're going to want a Megalodon. They also do 5% bleed damage over a certain amount of time. Megalodons are OP at bleeding other dinos, especially if you're underwater. The third one is the Stego. Now this thing can impale, it can also slow down dinos. It's like a walking bear trap. So if a dino has below 30% health, it'll be able to impale it. It'll also be able to impale it, but there we go, look, ready? Boom. And once it's impaled, it's stopped altogether. And it literally matters on your stamina. It's like a big bear trap. You can put them on aggressive as well and they'll do the same thing. Also, you can hit them with heavy plate, which will slow them for 80%. As you can see, that dire bear is very, very slow. They are OP, okay? So imagine you've got tons spammed here and they're trying to get through, and there's a load of turrets over there. So this dino will literally be your best friend for base defense. It will slow the enemies down, it will make them not want to come close to you, and it will do a lot of damage to the enemy team. It will make the enemy take a long time to raid you, and it's just perfect. Okay, and number 4 is the Pyroman. Now this thing is annoying, this thing is extra, this thing is quite OP. Okay, so what you do with these things is you actually go and ahead and jump on them. You hit them and you basically set them alight, and when they're flaming they're going to be going through their med brews like it's no business. Okay, they'll be losing health left, right and center, like their dinos will be losing health as well. And the funny thing is, the more melee you have on these Pyromanes, the more it can actually do fire damage wise. So if you level melee on these things, then the fire flame damage up to 20 times will do a lot of damage to dinos. Okay, and at number 5 is a picker, such as a Rhinognathium, or a Quetzal if you're poor, or a Wyvern, something that can pick up the enemy dinos and stop them from progressing. For example, I can pick up a terror bird, I can fly it away and throw it into a death pit or some other turret somewhere else. Also, if you don't have a flyer and you're playing on AB or something else, another great picker would be a Karkinos. Now a Karkinos can stop rocket runs and terror bird runs like that. You can move them around and get your bleeders to bleed them to death until they die. This is another perfect tame for defense. And the next one is going to be the infamous Reaper. Now this Reaper is a beast. You can C-spin with this bad boy, which will whip the enemy away and push them away to stop them from soaking, and it does a lot of damage if you level melee. It destroys and rips through flak. Okay, there's also the right click attack, which fires a goo ball which grounds flies and stops anyone from flying. So if you're on a pillar base, you can stop flyers this way. Left click just does a normal bite attack. Now these things I'd level in health and melee, because they have a lot of health and they take a lot to take out. One special thing that you don't know about these things is they don't have a turret mode, so in order to actually put these on aggressive and keep them at the entrance of your cave is to weigh them down with stone or something, put them on aggressive, and they will bite and they'll C-spin as well. And the next tame that's great for defense is the Basilisk. Now this one's a bit harder to get on aberration, but once you've got one you can breed them now. Okay, and why are they so good? Well, imagine there's enemies attacking you. First off, they can be buried. Okay, so you can put them on passive and you can bury them, which is cool. You know, they'll pop up and they'll start attacking the enemy, but that's not what I'd use it for. I'd put it on passive so then you can be player ridden and you can actually use it to fire gas balls at them, which will kill them if they don't have a gas mask. Then when they've put on a gas mask, they'll also be one tapped in the head. They're strong, powerful and fast. They can also go underground while you're riding them. Okay, if you're playing PC, it's spacebar and you'll literally go straight underground. Alright, and I'm underground right now. And basically you can pop up wherever you like. And say the enemy's here, you just pop up and splat them with a goo ball and they're more than likely dead. If not, you can left click, which will fang them, which will actually knock them out. Okay, and here's a cheeky one you haven't yet thought of, the Pelia. Now these things can jump out of the ground on aggressive and stun your opponent for 8 or 9 seconds. So if you level these things in melee, it will literally destroy your enemy's flak before the raid's even started. Okay, but this is not what I use this for. What I use this for is I use it for burying in sneaky locations. So for example, if I bury it here and they try and throw out a cryopod, they won't be able to, because it will say an enemy dino or structure is nearby. So they'll spend the time, 5 minutes, half an hour trying to find the buried Pelia or whatever it is, the piece of spam that they're missing, something else that they're missing. So if they can't throw out their cryopods, their dinos, they can't raid you. So what you can do is literally bury as many as you can all over the place, dotted all over the place, so it's harder for them to actually be able to throw out and start raiding you if you're, say, defending a cave or something like that. Okay, and the next one is Dodos. Now, why do you want Dodos? Because you can throw them around everywhere. You throw Dodos around everywhere, it's great. You have Dodo fun. No, you basically infect them with the swamp disease. Okay, it's from these little critters here in the swamp. So basically, if you get swamp disease and you start coughing over the Dodos, it will basically transmit that disease to the Dodos. So what that does is, if you've got a really defendable base, you throw them around everywhere outside your base, and it will basically give the enemy the disease, which will make them faster, yes, but it'll also make their health like 40% less. It'll make their weight 40% less, and it will just be so annoying to hear the whole raid people coughing all the time, and you're like, guess those Dodos worked. And they'll think you're a pro player because you've got diseased Dodos all over the front of your entrance of your base, and they'll love it. The enemy will love it. They'll probably just get annoyed and leave and be like, I don't want to get diseases anymore, I want to cure this. Okay, and your last tames will be your DPS tames. Now these are your giggers, your karchers, you know, anything that does a lot of damage. So I would recommend these. These are the first things that people go to because they are the easiest and the best at defending your base. They take large amounts of chunks of health out of the enemy. You can ram them down the corridor like this and eat a ton of people. So you're going to want a gigger at least to defend your base. Alright, just remember guys, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, it means the world to me.